everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den and welcome to another Sunday video. The last one for October as it happens to be. Well, see this card here, back in September I did a crafty afternoon with some other demonstrators here in South Australia, and each one of us brought in a project to make, and this project was by a lady named Caroline Nichols. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love this card. But I don't have this embossing folder, and I wanted to do mine a little bit different. So with Caroline's permission, I've actually, to show you this and everything else, I am now going to show you how I've made my version. When I've done 3 already, I've done a gold one with my words Christmas across, Xmas across there, and 2 with Noel. Did one in the silver and with the silver white ribbon, and one in the navy, Night of Navy, the same as this one. But I put a border around here. I just thought, for me, it was just a little bit too plain in the middle. I just wanted that there. And I've done one this way because my embossing folder works this way, the one that I had with all the words on it. So I've done 3, and I'm going to do a red one next. I'm going to do one in real red. So, oops, got a bit of something on there, not much. There we go, it's gone. So that's the 3 cards that I've done, inspired by the one from Caroline Nichols, which is, thank you Caroline, because I absolutely love this card. It is so beautiful. So I'm going to pop these out of the way and I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. Now I'm going to be using retired products as well as current. Oh my goodness, I can't find somewhere to put these things. There we go. So, and some non-Stampin' Up products as well. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Pattern Play for the letters, and I'm going to do another one that says Xmas, so XM, there's an A in here, A and S, so that I've cut them out to use them already. I'm going to use this embossing folder, which I've already done the embossing for. This, I don't know what brand it is. It doesn't have a brand on it. It might have been a magazine one. I'm not sure. It was one of my mum's, but because I already had this and I ordered the one from the other catalogue, so I can't do it this way. I'm doing mine this way. This is the embossing folder that I'm using. But I mean, if you wanted to make this into a birthday card, you could have one of these with this, or you could just leave it plain if you don't want to do anything, or any other kind of embossing folder. I'm going to be using these deckled rectangles, and I'm using the 2nd and 3rd size of those. These don't like sticking in here. I need to get some more magnetic sheet, but I haven't got any at the moment, so I can't do it. I'm waiting for my husband to order me some online. And I'm going to use this old set called Merry Mistletoe, and I'm going to use the Merry Christmas and the Christmas tree for my stamping. I forgot to bring my ink over, so I'm going to go grab my ink. Oops. I'm going to stamp with real red. There you go, got the ink. And I've got a few different things. I'm not sure. I think I'll probably end up using that one, not sure. Or maybe those. We'll see when I get that far. And you'll need some double-sided tape. Now this is optional, but I just find this the easiest way to do this. So let me show you what you need. Okay. Now, as I say, I've already done my embossing. I've already cut out my Xmas. I've also already cut out my tags, but I will give you the width of these. The dimensions, so that if you don't have dies and you just want to do them straight, you can. So we're going to start with a card base that is 11 3/4 by 4 1/8. For the inside and the outside, you're going to need, and this piece has got a yucky bit on it down here. I'm not sure if you can see that. You're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then 2 more white pieces. Well, I'm doing mine in white, but it doesn't matter if you don't want to do it in white. That measure 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. This one for the front I've actually embossed, and that's entirely up to you if you want to or not. So let's pop them out of the way. For my tag, you'll need a piece, and I'm using this glitter foil paper here, and this measures 3 1/4 by 1 3/4, and then the white piece that's going on the top measures 3 by 1 1/2. I think that's a little bit under 3. Yep, this is 2 3/4, but I've written it down on my instructions as 3 by 1 1/2, so that the gap would not be quite as big as that. Okay, and then you'll need a piece of ribbon about 12 inches long. This is an old ribbon from a few years back in the Christmas catalogue, so I'm going to be using that as well. I've actually already cut the ends on an angle. Okay, so we're going to just do a little bit of, oh, and then I've got my letters there, which I've already told you about, so I'll just leave them up in the corner. We're just going to do a little bit of what do you call this? Creasing the card, scoring. Okay, so we're going to use the small end of our thing because we've got a piece of card, and we're going to score this at 5 7/8. Now, a few people have said to me over time, even though I score it, my card never folds where it's supposed to. So I'll show you a little trick that I found that helps me. I actually put these two ends together and lean it up against here, and with my bone folder I press down. That way, whoops, I get a nice crease along that crease line, and I know that it is square. Sometimes you could score it and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to score in the right spot. I think it's that maybe sometimes the card is not exactly 11 3/4 inches, or just under, or just over. See, this one's just under 11 3/4 inches if you look at that on there. So, okie dokie, so we're going to bring in our pieces here, and for our front one, we're going to put our embossed one onto our layer. So this card, by the way, is going to be called, for the video and the written tutorial, Easy Christmas Card, because it's simple and it's elegant. I think it's absolutely elegant. I love it. So I'm going to pop this onto here, and that covers that horrible mark that was all like a stain on the cardstock. Now I could have done this all in the foil paper, but it's a waste of foil paper when that is so close to that anyway. So then we're going to pop this onto the front of the card. Oops, I'm trying to take the pin out, and it's already out. Just that, it's really so pretty. So there's my front of my card, done like so. I'm going to bring in my piece like this. Now let me bring these in again. On these I've done one Xmas that way, and I've done the Noels this way. I'm going to actually do my next Xmas this way again. So I'm going to bring in my piece and my letters, my other piece of white and my letters. Come here, letters. X, M, A, get on there, A, the right way up, S. And now I'm going to just bring in my tweezers, because I just find it easier to hold them while I'm doing this. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue so I can glue my X down. I'm going to turn this on an angle because it's just easier for me. M. And that's silly, I couldn't pick the X up, but I could pick this M up. It's a very warm day here today. oh, they all jumped off. So, as I say, you could put a B day, like birthday, with your letters. Go on straight. There we go. If you wanted to do that. This will make, I reckon it would even make a beautiful wedding card. Okay, I've got my letters on there now. Let me turn that over and give them a burnish down so that they all stick nicely. And then I'm going to glue that to my other piece of white, red foil card. So, it's on there nicely. While that's on there nicely and drying, because it's on foil, we will do our bit of ribbon. Now for me, I find this the easiest way. I put my ribbon down with the right side up. I think it's the right side up. No, the wrong side up. The wrong side up, sorry. And I just take a piece of double-sided tape and I put it between the 4 and the 8 on my tape. Then I turn it over and I put another piece of tape between the 1 and the 4. And then another piece between the 8 and the 12. That gives you like 4 inches on each section. What I do then is I actually just fold my ribbon, and so that the sides are nice and tightly down like so. I just sort of, so that it creases it at the 4-inch mark and again at the 8-inch mark. That way I know that when I put this on here, I'm going to be able to move it around to how I want it. I can always trim these off again after. So do I put it that way? Being I've got that going this way, what I will do is I will actually put the middle one down, pop this here and work out where I want it. Oops. So I'm going to do it like, that one's going to go there like that. So I'm going to actually pull this out and pop this piece down. If I can get my finger under there. There we go. As I say, I can always trim off any excess if I don't want it. And then the same with this one. I want to get this one down here a bit. So that's where I'm going to pop that one. Pull that off and out. Now for me, they look like they need a good trim again. So I'm going to actually trim them off a tiny bit more. Same with this one. I'm going to trim this one back a little bit more. But you can work that out as you go. There we go. And get rid of those bits into the rubbish bin. And then we're ready to pop this on. Now they're going to stick down. If you don't want them loose, you can always put another piece of tape underneath them just to hold them down. Which I might do in this case, because they do seem to be a little bit floppy, don't they? Oops. And the same with that top one. Let me get a piece of tape. Just a little bit more in that corner to do that with. Once I'm happy with that, it does take a little bit to make it stick. Just make sure that there isn't any hanging out the ends. Okay, I'm going to pop a couple of dimensionals onto the back of this one, which I think I've got enough on this sheet without cutting into the other bit, which I might actually cut into that and put around in the middle here. Oh dearie me. So let's pop them in there, in the middle there. There we go. Pop that onto the front of the card. Oh, I'm really doing good here, aren't I? Like so. That will help to hold the ribbon down as well. So now we're going to do a little bit of stamping and then we will finish off the front of the card. So we're going to stamp our Merry Christmas and our little Christmas tree. And I'm going to do that in real red. Yeah, that looks beautiful. And red, a couple of red trees down the bottom here. Again, just enough. I don't want over the top. You know me with the insides of my card. I'm not one for doing too much on the inside, and I like in the writing section I like to find them quite plain. I find that to me they just look better being plain and having all of the what you want to do on the outside. Okay, so we can pop this onto the inside of the card. Turn that over and give that a wipe down as I always do. That way you know that there's no air bubbles underneath that. I'll pop my pin in my thing and I'm going to use these ones here. Oh, not those ones. These ones here. So I'm going to just grab these 3 small red ones and I'm going to pop them in where there's a space between the words. And do I put one there or one here? I think I'm going to pop that one there. Well, that's my card for today. What do you think? I think that's absolutely gorgeous. A really easy card. That's the other Xmas, and I've put my saying the opposite way around there. Let me bring you out a little bit, and you'll be able to see things a bit better. There you go. I don't know why I was in so far. Oh dear. Who knows? Who can tell? That's my original card that was inspired by, that was a card by Caroline Nichols, which I thank you very much to Caroline. I absolutely love it. That's my versions here with the extra. I like my thing a little bit wider. That's just personal. If you want to do the narrower around there, that's completely fine too, but I prefer a little bit wider. I don't know, it just pops more for me. I mean, that looks elegant, I'm not saying it doesn't, and I've done this in the silver, the navy, the red and the gold, and I think that these are actually one of my favourite cards for this Christmas so far. And if you'd like the written tutorial for this card, please head down, you'll find the link down here to Dies Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. There you'll find the written tutorial and the photos of all the cards, along with the gratitude from Caroline as well, because on my tutorial it says inspired by Caroline. And if you enjoyed this, please give me the thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I love to hear from you all, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.